Everybody, welcome to the config and tech portion for ScummVM for Space Quest 1. We're just going to go through the whole program here, and I will show you how I set everything up. It may not be exactly perfect, but it's all working. So I've already got everything set up here in my list. Once you have things in your list, you'll have a search bar here where you can type just to search for Space Quest, say, if you had a super long list, I guess. These are other ways you can sort what you're searching for. And then you have a view down here where you can switch to kind of a graphic art view where it'll just pull these from a database so that you can look at all the games this way and execute and start them from this manner. I'm not going to be using this, and you have the option to adjust how many you see at a time and stuff based on how far you slide this. I'm going to be using the list view, but you can switch between the two views there. You can see the version you're using. You can also see it here when you're not in full screen mode. And you're going to have start, load, add game, game options, remove game, global options, about, and quit. So about will just give you more information. It just auto scrolls. So very cool how they've shown the games and everything in here as well. It's obviously quicker to access that from the website. And global options are going to be where you're configuring the actual program, so that's where we want to start in this part of the video. You're going to have multiple tabs up here: graphics, key maps or keybinds, audio, volume, MIDI, MT32, paths, GUI, miscellaneous, cloud, LAN, and accessibility. Be starting on the graphics. So graphics mode, I just leave everything on default here. I'm assuming it's defaulting on OpenGL is what ScummVM uses for its API. So just leave it on default. Same thing with the render modes, the stretch modes, because what you really need to do is you need to configure each individual game that you set to run through here anyway. So you don't need to be relying on a particular setting that you set as the global setting. So just leave it as default. You're going to adjust all this individually. Open that again. Okay. None of this matters. Just leave it. I check aspect ratio correction. This will make it so, as it says right there, if I can get it to show it again. Correct aspect ratio for games. This will keep your game from being stretched all the way across the width of the screen. My resolution is 1920 by 1080, so 1080p is what I'm going by. But these games were designed for a 4:3 ratio, so that's how they need to be presented to look correct. You're going to have bars on the left and the right vertically when you have this checked, but that's the way you should have it. Otherwise, you're going to stretch the image. Full screen mode, if you do that, it'll take the border away from here, which is normally how I would have it, but because I might want to come in and out of this screen, I have changed it to just be windowed mode for now so that I have the ability to minimize and stuff. But I would say go ahead and put it on full screen. And you would want to anyway, because it's probably going to keep that border when you're playing the game if you don't. So filter graphics, leave that unchecked. See what it says here. Tooltip takes forever. use linear filtering when scaling graphics. That's just going to mud up your graphics. These games are meant to have a pixelated look. If you don't like the pixelated looks of these games, then you're probably not going to like playing them anyway. VSync, wait for the vertical synchronization to refresh the screen in order to prevent tearing artifacts. So I would advise to use this unless you have a G-Sync monitor or are using some other way to sync your frame rate with the refresh rate of your screen. But I hate screen tearing of any kind, so I'm checking it. The game 3D renderer, just leave it at default. All of this, leave it at default. Then click apply. Mainly the only important options here are the aspect ratio correction, full screen mode, and VSync. I don't know what the defaults were because I've already got my stuff configured. You go to key maps. Here's where you can adjust some different things. So Control Z you can use to bring up the main menu of the program while you're in an individual game. You can use Alt F4 to quit out of a game, and it'll bring you straight back to ScummVM. It won't quit the game and also quit you out of the program. It'll just quit you out of the game. So you can adjust any keybinds here the way you want to do them. Control F. I have set for full screening. Control S for screenshots. Control A will disable or enable the full screen mode, basically. So you can see what I'm talking about in real time. I'll try to do it when I go into the game, just to show you. But you can see how the normal looks. You'll see that anyway, because that's how I'm going to be playing it, but you'll see how it looks stretched. Same thing with the scaling, which applies to the filter graphics. You can make a keybind to see how that looks. I'll actually change this to... see, I'm going to make this Alt. Is there no way to, like, clear it? I don't want to reset. There's got to be a way to clear it. Backspace, delete, escape, right click. Okay, clear mapping. You have to click the drop down and then you can clear it. So then I want it to be Alt, return, and since this is filtering, I will make this Control F. So I'll try to do Control A and Control F later. Cycle through stretch modes. Not going to worry about that. Escape, close. That's all you really need to worry about. Nothing crazy. These are just controls to control ScummVM while you're within a game, basically. Click apply, go to audio, same thing. In most cases, you're going to want to be using probably either the IBM PC Junior emulator for sound or the MT32 Roland emulator. That's why I don't recommend setting anything. Leave it on default. We're going to be manually adjusting this for games themselves, but just set these to my settings, both 60. Volume, that's the default. Just leave it there. Don't use general MIDI music. Yeah, that's fine, doesn't matter. Leave it. No sound fonts. These are the settings for, let me go back. So set everything up like this. And in fluid synth settings, This is how I have it. This the defaults. Course. Miscellaneous. Okay. Apply. MT32. Yeah, I have these set to not do anything just to make sure that they don't actually force themselves. So set it up like that. Click apply, paths. This is where I have my ScummVM installed on my particular drive, which is my D drive. I have an emulators folder, and then I installed it, ScummVM, and then saves. This is where your save games will go from doing quick saves and whatnot. Theme will just default to your default ScummVM folder. This folder. There's your saves. ScummVM config path. This is important. Well, I think I covered it. Roaming. Yes, I'll cover that later. But this is an important path to notate. It's the last game you looked at or messed with settings. So there's the settings for that. Apply, GUI, graphic user interface. ScummVM does come with 5 different options for the way the UI looks, the coloring of the buttons being green and the background and all that. So you can pick whichever one you want here. I'm using the modern theme remastered. I just like the color, but you can change that to be whatever you want. Just click the theme. You can scale the UI to be smaller or bigger. See how it's a lot larger now. Or put it on large. Could get away with, well, I have to scroll, but so I think I'm going to leave it on medium. Put that on what you would like to put that on. Anti-alias render, sure. Put your language that you're going to be using. Switch the ScummVM GUI language to the game language. No, that doesn't matter. Use native system file browser. That's fine. Return to the launcher when leaving a game. So if you uncheck this and you Alt F4 or quit out of the game, it's probably going to quit out of ScummVM as well. You may not want to do that, so I would leave that checked. Ask for confirmation on exit. That's up to you. Update icons. Go ahead and let it do that. If it will. It says no new icon packs available. Okay. So that refers to over here where I showed you could change the view to this. That refers to these. That's where it pulls these from. So if you don't have any that show up, or you want to check and make sure you have the latest or whatever, that is what you will do. And in the icons too, they show you what region they're for. So this one being for US, America, and European. It would show Japanese if it was Japanese, and then it shows you the OS that it's for. MS-DOS, Windows. So you can see a Space Quest. Not until Space Quest 4 did they switch to Windows. Apparently these are the DOS versions. I think there is a reason. I think these have DOS versions and Windows versions, but I think the DOS versions are better. I forget what the reason is. Okay, so the icons, that's what that was for under the GUI settings. Apply your settings, miscellaneous. Autosave, so every 5 minutes ScummVM will just make autosaves for you, which is in your games, which is nice. Extremely nice in the games like Sierra. But you can also do quick saves and quick loads. And you can also save your game just whenever you want to, basically. All right. Random seed, I have no idea. I'm not messing with that. Enable Discord integration. I don't use Discord. Update check weekly. So this is for ScummVM. How often do you want it to check for updates for the software? I would say weekly is good. Go ahead and check it. It tells you you're up to date. 270. You can confirm here, or you can confirm here. Apply, cloud, not using it, not running, not using any of this, accessibility, not using any of this. So I'll let you see these again, just so you can try to mirror my settings if you want. Because at least this way, if you start with mirroring my settings as your baseline, and then you have issues, then I can try to help you in the comments. You can let me know what your problem is you're having. And as long as you have things set up the way I do, then it'll help me help you quicker, basically. So these are just the global settings for ScummVM. I'm actually going to do another segment, I think. I'm going to break this segment so that I can upload this, or not upload this, but put this in my various information playlist on my home page at the bottom for just general information, where I have like a video I cut out of my Firewatch playthrough just talking about FOV. I'm going to use this as a clean edit to just talk about how to configure ScummVM. In the next video, I'll come back in here and then I'll show you the actual adjustment for Space Quest 1. I think that's a better way to do it. So this will have 5 segments then, not 4. And these are all default. I didn't change any of that. So click Apply. I'm actually going to, yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. So that basically covers that. This basically just shows how to do the global setup options for ScummVM. So if you're watching this video from my edit on how to use ScummVM and you want to know how to do games like this, please look for one of my Space Quest or King's Quest playlists, and it will have a config and tech video in there that will show you how to further configure an individual game. You should go to this folder, this being the ScummVM configuration files folder on your computer. You'll just need to put your appropriate, whatever your username is, in this location. As long as you've got your stuff installed on a C drive like most people, this is where it will be. I advise you to back up this folder as it contains ScummVM and games list configurations, so you won't lose everything you have set up. So when we set up the global settings for ScummVM and then we set up the actual profile for the game itself, that's all stored in this path. So make sure you back all that up. So if you have to reinstall anything or anything happens, you can copy those back into this folder on a new install or on a new computer, and they should be back in your list and you won't have to recreate them. So thank you for watching. Bye.